Stop everything for a moment and tell me, do you feel like the universe is trying to tell you something? Because it is, but most people just don't listen. Maybe you think it's just your imagination, but think with me. What if those strange coincidences, those sudden gut feelings, those moments when something inside you whispers, don't go that way? What if they're not random? What if in fact they're answers? Answers from an intelligence that surrounds you all the time. Not a distant deity judging what you do, but a living field of conscious energy, invisible, yet present in everything, in the air you breathe, in the objects around you, in the silence between your thoughts. This field doesn't use words. It reflects. It responds. It shows you, like a quantum mirror, everything you're vibrating right now. Your external reality isn't random. It's the echo of your energy. Every thought you feed, every feeling you hold on to, every phrase you repeat, all of that turns into frequency. And that frequency becomes a response, becomes life. This isn't a modern idea. The ancient Egyptians already knew this. Thoth, the master of wisdom, said the universe is mental, a living thought, and that every human being is like a spark of that infinite mind. What you think, feel, declare, shapes the world around you. But the problem is that most people forgot this. They forgot that they're in constant dialogue with the universe, and those who forget start to believe life is unfair, that painful patterns are just bad luck, that dreams don't come true because the world is too harsh. But what if I told you that those repeating patterns are messages, that those obstacles are vibrational codes showing you exactly where your energy is stuck? This isn't about magic, it's about consciousness. And the most amazing thing is that if you know how to speak to this field, for real, it responds with precision. He who knows himself moves the heavens with his mind. Corpus Hermeticum. Have you ever felt like you're reliving your own life on repeat? You wake up, do everything right, put in the effort, try to think positive, but there you are, stuck in the same problems, the same results, the same feelings, as if there's an invisible cycle holding you, spinning non-stop, and you, without understanding why, just keep going in circles. The truth is, that cycle isn't random. It's not bad luck, divine punishment, or karma from past lives. It's being sustained by you, without you realizing it. Because what most people don't know is that we're constantly sending vibrational signals to the universe. And those signals are shaping our reality so precisely, it almost feels like magic. But it's not magic. It's frequency. Every recurring thought, every emotion you feed, every story you tell yourself, all of that forms a vibrational field around you. And that field attracts situations, people, and experiences that match exactly what you're putting out. If you believe nothing works out for you, the universe doesn't question that. It doesn't analyze whether you're a good person, whether you deserve something better, or whether you're just going through a tough time. It just mirrors. It picks up the signal and sends you the equivalent. It's that simple. The Hermetic wisdom taught by Thoth is clear. As within, so without. There's no point trying to fix the outside world if your inner world is still vibrating lack, fear, doubt, or self-punishment. And here's the trap. You might even wish for a better life, but if deep down you believe it's not possible, that belief is what's manifesting. It's like trying to change the reflection in a mirror without changing your face. The universe is that mirror. It doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you are in vibration. Ancient alchemy called this solve et coagula, dissolve what no longer serves and condense a new reality. But for that, you first need to see that you're still vibrating the old. Watch the patterns. They repeat because you feed them, with your attention, with automatic reactions, with stories you keep repeating without realizing. Nothing ever works out for me. I always end up disappointed. Life is hard. Each of those phrases is a vibrational seed. You plant it, and then act surprised when your reality blooms the same way. And it's not because you want this, it's because your energy is set up for it. Your mind has been programmed to repeat what it knows, even if that means repeating pain, frustration, or lack. The familiar is comfortable, and that's what keeps you trapped in the cycle. But now that you're seeing this mechanism, something inside you starts to change. Because awareness breaks the spell. The simple act of noticing already begins to dissolve the repetition. And that's where it all begins. Because now that you've understood that the universe is responding to your vibration, we've reached the most important moment of this journey. In the next parts, we're going to dive into the 5 most powerful ways to communicate with the universe. These aren't shallow methods. They're real vibrational codes used by sages, initiates, and alchemists throughout history. And if you apply each one of them with truth, with presence, with feeling, there's no way the universe won't hear you, because its language isn't spoken. It's felt. Get ready, because from here on out, change stops being theory and starts becoming reality. First way to ask, live the feeling as if it's already real, alchemical visualization. And now that you understand that everything happening outside is just a reflection of what's vibrating inside, it's time to access the first code. And it doesn't start with the mind or with words. It starts with something most people have forgotten how to feel, the vibration of the now. Because here's the truth, you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. The universe doesn't work with wish lists or with promises repeated out loud. It responds to what you emanate, and your frequency is determined by the emotional quality of what you're feeling right now. That's why visualization isn't just about imagining a pretty scene and hoping it comes true. That's surface-level stuff. Real visualization is an act of vibrational alchemy. You're taking an invisible reality and pulling it into the field of now with such intensity that your body starts to believe it's already living it. And that changes everything. When you close your eyes and see what you want to manifest with your inner eye, the first step isn't just creating a mental image. It's embodying that reality, feeling it with every cell, activating the emotions you would have if it were already happening. And here's the most important detail. Your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. If you visualize in a shallow, mechanical, emotionless way, nothing changes. But if you step fully into that scene, like an actor who's fully living the role, something starts to happen. Your nervous system begins to adapt to that vibration. Your electromagnetic field reorganizes, your energy shifts, and the universe starts to respond. The ancients knew this. Egyptian masters, shamans, Hermetic initiates, they all used symbolic imagery, ecstatic states, and internal archetypes to access frequencies that transcended linear time. They didn't make verbal requests. They evoked states of consciousness, because they knew everything starts in the invisible. And this is the key that few people use correctly. It's not about pretending. It's not about forcing a positive thought while inside you're still feeling fear. It's about being. It's you, in the present moment, connecting with the reality you desire, as if it's already happening. It's waking up, and before opening your eyes, diving into the feeling of already having it. It's walking through the day, feeling what it would be like to live that life, what it would be like to love that person, to have that freedom, to breathe that peace. It doesn't matter if nothing has changed on the outside yet. On the inside, you've already started the process, and the universe responds, not because you said it, but because you became it. That's the first code. Second way to ask, prayer isn't begging. It's a vibrational declaration. And when you start to become what you desire, something inside you awakens. a new vibration starts to circulate. And it's in this state that the second way of communicating with the universe reveals itself. But, unlike what many have been taught, it doesn't come in the form of begging or desperate pleas. Most people pray like they're pleading, as if they're standing in front of a distant God, hoping to be chosen. They say, "Please, help me, if it's your will," like they're begging for a crumb of attention from the universe. But the universe doesn't respond to the voice that begs. It responds to the vibration that declares. Prayer, in its true spiritual sense, isn't pleading. It's alignment. That's why the great masters never prayed like victims. They affirmed. They declared. They didn't ask for a miracle. They were the miracle. Because they knew that the word, when born from an elevated vibrational state, becomes creative. Thoth made this clear in his Hermetic teachings. The one who knows the law is part of the law. In other words, whoever understands the laws that govern reality stops being a spectator and becomes a co-creator. They don't need to convince the universe. They just need to align with it. True prayer is that. It's not when you say, "I need this." It's when you affirm, "I am this now." It's when your words don't come from a place of fear, but from a state of certainty. In inner alchemy, this moment of alignment is called conjunction. It's when intention unites with the word, when desire unites with the living word, when what you think, feel, and say all vibrate on the same frequency. And this is the most forgotten secret of spirituality. The word creates, but only when it comes charged with vibrational coherence. You can repeat mantras, positive phrases, beautiful affirmations, but if deep down you're doubting, the vibration of doubt cancels out the power of what was said. The universe doesn't hear empty words, it hears the energetic truth behind them. The faith that transforms isn't the kind that waits, it's the kind that lives as if it already is. That's different from hope. Hope waits. Faith acts. Hope doubts. Faith affirms. Hope says, "Maybe someday." Faith says, "It's already done." When you pray with that awareness, you're not trying to change the world. You're changing the vibrational field that connects you to it. You are energetically saying, "This is who I am now," and the universe with absolute precision responds. Third way to ask, inner silence, meditation as vibrational listening. And it's exactly when your words vibrate with conviction, when your declaration turns into living energy, that something essential needs to happen: silence. Because every true expression must be followed by listening, and listening to the universe requires a kind of attention that few are willing to give. Most people ask for signs, answers, confirmations, but go on living their lives drowning in distractions. The mind is always full, busy, restless. It's a one-sided conversation, and that side never stops talking. The problem isn't the lack of a response, it's the excess of noise. If prayer is the art of speaking to the universe, meditation is the space where you learn to hear its response. But this listening isn't with your physical ears. It's a kind of vibrational hearing. It's when you drop from your head into your body, from thought into presence, and become receptive. The universe doesn't respond with full sentences. It doesn't shout, interrupt, or impose. It whispers. And the universe's whispers show up as synchronicities, sudden intuitions, ideas that appear with no logical explanation, unexpected emotions that seem to come from nowhere. But to notice that, you have to be still, not just around you, inside you. And that's the big challenge nowadays, silencing the mind, because it's been programmed to talk non-stop. It clings to the past, worries about the future, comments, judges, compares, analyzes, and in the middle of all that noise, the response gets lost. Thoth, in the Hermetic mysteries, wasn't just the master of the word, he was the guardian of sacred silence. The scribe of the gods only wrote what was worthy of being recorded. He represented the knowledge that doesn't come from speech, but from the void. From the gnosis that is born when the mind stops resisting and starts observing. True meditation is that. It's not just a technique to relax the body or calm the nerves, though that happens too. It's a vibrational practice of listening. A state where you stop trying to control, understand, or predict and just witness what is. And in that space, something starts to open. You realize that silence isn't empty, it's full of subtle information, full of perception, full of answers you would never find by forcing anything. Silence puts you in the field where the universe can finally express itself. It's there, without effort, without visualizing, without words, that wisdom arrives. A spontaneous thought that brings clarity. A feeling of peace that guides you for no clear reason. A silent certainty that arises without needing logic. That's the universe speaking. But only those who go quiet inside can hear it. That silence is a form of surrender, not weakness, but trust. When you go silent, you're saying, I trust that the answer will come. I don't need to force it. I just allow it. And that in itself already changes your vibration. To meditate is to let the universe speak to you in its own language, pure vibration. Fourth way to ask, write like a wizard, the alchemy of the written word. And it's exactly in that space of deep listening that the next movement is born, turning the invisible into something you can touch, see, and return to whenever needed. This is where writing comes in, but not the way you learned in school. Writing, in truth, is one of the oldest and most powerful spiritual manifestation rituals humanity has ever known. In Egypt, Thoth wasn't just the god of wisdom, he was the scribe of the gods, the one who recorded cosmic events, not like someone jotting down facts, but like someone giving form to what doesn't exist yet. For initiates of the Hermetic tradition, writing wasn't just a practical tool, it was a magical act. When you write something with intention, you're anchoring a vibration in the physical plane. You're pulling energy out of mental abstraction and bringing it into the world of form. That's why writing is much more than putting words on paper. It's declaring, materializing, evoking. But you have to do it with awareness. Writing randomly doesn't change anything. The universe doesn't respond to messiness. It responds to clarity, to coherence, to the emotional vibration behind each word. That's why before you write, stop, breathe. Feel what you really want to say. It's not just about listing wishes like you're placing an order at the counter of the invisible. It's about putting your truest frequency into those words. It's about writing. Like a wizard casts a spell. Every sentence needs to be a vibrational affirmation of what you want to see come to life. And there are many ways to do this. Some people write letters to the universe. Others write to their future selves. Some keep their writings as anchors of faith. Others burn the letters as a symbol of surrender, letting go of control and trusting the flow. None of these ways is wrong. What matters isn't the outer ritual, it's the inner state. What matters is the energy that accompanies what's written. When you write, I am prosperous, but feel doubt, fear, or resistance, the paper might capture the words, but the universe, which reads vibration, not ink, will only pick up the noise. That's why you must write with presence, with truth, with clarity. Describe things as if you're already living them, as if it's the journal of a life that's already happening. Tell the universe, with every word, that you already are who you've decided to be. And as you write, imagine the universe right there, reading every line, because energetically, it is. In alchemical tradition, this act is called fixing the spirit. It's the moment when intention, once subtle and unstable, finds a container to keep vibrating in the physical plane. The written word becomes a symbol, the symbol vibrates, and that vibration spreads. That's the power of magical writing. Not as superstition, but as a vibrational language. Fifth way to ask: become the answer you're looking for, the presence that transforms. And when you write as if planting a seed into the fabric of the universe, something begins to move. But even then, there's a language deeper than all words, a kind of silent communication that goes beyond thought, speech, image, or gesture. That language is you, your presence, your embodied vibration. Because in the end, the most powerful way to ask the universe for something isn't to pray, visualize, or write. It's to be. The fifth way to communicate with the universe is the most transformative one: becoming the answer you're looking for. It's about stopping the wait for reality to give you something so you can finally change, and starting to live as if you've already received it. It's when you stop asking for love and start vibrating like someone who truly loves. Someone who's not searching for something, but has become a space where love naturally blooms. It's when you stop craving money and start acting, feeling, and moving like someone who lives in peace with abundance. This is spiritual alchemy, not metaphorically, literally. It's taking the lead of scarcity, neediness, and separation, and transmuting it into vibrational gold, into a consciousness that shines from the inside out. Thoth taught that the mind rules matter, that everything dense was first born in a subtle field. That means if you're waiting for life to change so you can finally feel different, you'll be waiting forever. Because the order is reversed. Life changes when you change first. That's when everything starts to happen. And to make this even clearer, I want to share a short story with you that perfectly illustrates what we've been learning. Legend says that in a small village hidden in the mountains, there lived a young man named Elior. He was known for being a dreamer. He'd spend his days staring at the horizon and saying to the wind, "One day, abundance will come. One day, love will find me. One day, my life will be different." The village elders, though they admired him, always watched him with compassion. Elior believed so deeply that his destiny was beyond his reach, he couldn't see the power he carried inside. One day, he decided to climb the highest mountain in search of an old master who, they said, knew the secrets of the universe. After 3 days of walking, he found the master sitting in silence, surrounded only by sheep and wind. Elior knelt and asked, "Master, teach me how to manifest the life I long for. How can I ask the universe to give me what I deserve?" The old man smiled with his eyes and calmly replied, "Stop asking. Start walking like someone who already has. Stop wishing. Start living like someone who already is. The universe doesn't hear what you ask with words. It responds to what you vibrate with your being. You don't need to be found by love. You need to become the place where love wants to live. You don't need to chase abundance. You need to be a body where it recognizes itself." Elior descended the mountain in silence, not because he didn't get an answer, but because he had become the answer. And they say that on that very day, when he returned to the village, without any visible miracle, everything started to change, not because the world around him transformed, but because he had become a new world. That is the essence of the fifth code. The universe responds to what you are, not to what you say you want. What blocks the flow? Doubt, urgency, and control. And even when you start vibrating as if you already are, even when you feel like you're finally aligned, there are moments when it seems like nothing's happening, as if the universe has gone silent, as if the flow has stopped. And that's where a lot of people get lost. Because what blocks the flow isn't a lack of intention, it's the anxiety hidden inside it. That subtle doubt that says, "What if it doesn't work?" That repeating thought whispering, "I don't think this is working yet." That restless heart trying to force a result before it's time. And maybe this is the most overlooked part of the spiritual path. The energy of rushing is actually the vibration of lack. When you try to rush the process, you're telling the universe, without words, that you don't believe it's already on the way. You're vibrating, "I don't have it," disguised as, "I really want it." And the universe, which doesn't read words but reads frequency, responds exactly to that. That's why so many people say, "I did everything right, but it didn't happen." Because they were visualizing, praying, writing, but secretly pressuring the universe to prove something, as if time was against them, as if the space between the desire and the manifestation was a mistake, when in truth, it's in that space that the gold is purified. Spiritual alchemy has never been an instant process. It requires fire, but not the fire of anxiety, the fire of trust. The flame that burns away doubt and leaves only the essence. When you say, "I trust," but your body is tense, your mind is restless, and your heart is impatient, the real vibration you're sending out is one of resistance. The universe picks up on that energy before you even say a word. It feels your urgency as a sign of distrust. Thoth taught that true power lies in a mind that knows how to rest, because a mind that trusts doesn't look for signs every second, doesn't demand proof, doesn't beg for speed. It aligns with the frequency of already done. It acts with the calm of someone who knows everything is lining up. Of course, doubt will show up. It's part of the journey, but you don't have to identify with it. You can observe it, breathe, and let it pass like a cloud that has no power over the sky. Because trust isn't about not feeling fear. It's about not being ruled by it. And this is the part few can hold. Continuing to vibrate, "It is done," even when there's nothing visible yet. That's not stubbornness. It's mastery. It's holding your vibration even when everything seems still. It's becoming a stable vibrational magnet that doesn't sway with every change in the wind. The universe loves those who trust, because trust is a sign that you've become one with your own creation. You're no longer waiting. You're being. And it's only when anxiety dissolves that the flow comes back. So then, why do so many people still feel alone, ignored, disconnected? Because the universe doesn't respond with neon signs or loud headlines. It responds in the detail, the nuance, the synchronicity that seems random but carries a code. It speaks all the time. It's just that most people are too distracted to notice. You think of someone and they call you. You hear the same phrase in 3 different places on the same day. You feel chills out of nowhere before making a decision. These things aren't random. They're vibrational messages. It's the universe saying, "I heard you. Keep going. This way. Stop." But those answers only reach the ones who are present. And presence isn't just being awake, it's being aware. It's living with sharpened senses, with a heart that listens, and a mind that's not a dictator, but an observer. It's when you stop looking outside for signs and realize they've been crossing your path all along. Thoth, the master of sacred silence, didn't teach through long speeches. He taught with symbols, metaphors, images etched into the invisible. Because deep wisdom isn't passed through ready-made phrases. It's revealed to those who are ready to see. And that symbolic language is still active. It's in the repeating numbers, in the recurring dreams, in the feelings that have no rational explanation, but make your whole body vibrate with the sense that something greater is happening. If you start living in presence, you'll realize the universe has always responded. Always. But now, you're learning how to listen. And truly listening is a sacred act. Because it's through this vibrational listening that you begin to realize life was never against you. It was simply waiting for you to wake up. And when that awakening happens, something shifts, silently, but radically. You stop waiting for the universe to give you something, because you finally understand you were never just asking. You were creating the whole time, and that's when the greatest secret of the initiates is revealed. The secret was never about attracting, it was about becoming. And before you go, there's something very important waiting for you. A special video has been selected to go even deeper into everything you felt here. A hand-picked piece of content to help you keep moving forward on this journey of awakening, reconnection, and conscious creation of your reality. So don't close this window, don't disconnect now, just click on the video that's showing up on the screen, and I'll meet you there, on the other side, so we can keep going together in this vibration. See you soon.